Thanks for joining us in studio today, Drew. Let's start with your latest play, The Undeniable Accusations of Red Cadmium Light, and how Norval Morrisseau came to inspire you.
Well, yes, I was actually, if you can believe it or not, I was at a cocktail party for the Kleinberg Museum, and I met a gentleman there who runs an organization that authenticates Morceaus, and we were having just an interesting conversation, and then when I left, the idea, all of this was bouncing around in my head, and it took a little while for it to sort of settle and coalesce, but I came away with a really interesting idea for a play that I then sat down and wrote a few months later once I had figured everything out. And it was one of these stories that was just waiting there to be told.
Mm-hmm. And I guess, could you talk us through your writing process for this particular show? I know you had kind of started there.
Yeah, well, yes, it started with a conversation. I mean, this issue has been in the news for a number of years, and there's been family issues, there have been lawsuits. It's been a very complex issue, and it sort of inspired me to take the story, and use it as a launching pad to look at other aspects of, I guess, authenticity, how you judge a Morceau authentic or forgery, and sort of how that can reflect different aspects of the Indigenous community, and how this woman who is the foremost expert on Morceau, it comes into her life and affects her relationship with her daughter. And I don't want to go into too much because there's a couple of interesting revelations that happens during the play that I don't want to give away.
And I don't know if I'm giving it away here too, but you were talking about news. There's a reporter involved in this, and
yes,
that sort of stuff.
It all goes back. It starts with a reporter coming to do an interview on this woman. As I said, she's the foremost authority on Morceau forgeries, and they get talking, and the more they talk, sort of the light and the conversation and the focus shifts. And it turns into, actually, the play, while it starts out about the whole Morceau forgery issue, it turns into a discussion between the mother and daughter, and a re-examining of their relationship, and how they adjust to each other.
Yeah, that definitely sounds interesting. I guess, as one of Canada's leading Indigenous playwrights, what feelings do you get, as you debut new world premieres like this one?
Oh, it's a great feeling. 2 weeks ago, I had a new play open in Thunder Bay called On Thin Ice, and I've got this play happening. I've always viewed it as just the next logical progression of oral storytelling, going from telling stories around the campfire to telling stories on the stage. We are a storytelling culture, and people and civilizations evolve, and so does storytelling. So storytelling started around the campfire, around the kitchen table, and it has expanded to include over the centuries theater, print, radio, television, movies, and even today, a lot of video games have deep and intricate narratives woven into them. So I just see myself as a contemporary storyteller, taking the background I was raised with, the storytelling I was raised with, and giving it new horizons to conquer.
Absolutely, and this isn't a fire, but we're around a desk here definitely sharing these stories right now. I guess, are there any key takeaways that you hope the audience will get from this show?
I want people to, every playwright wants this, but when they walk out, I want people to be thinking. I want people to be murmuring as they're coming down the aisles, as they're going down the elevator, as they're getting into their cars, talking about some of the stuff I presented for public digestion, and seeing what people have to say about sort of the stuff I've shown them, and what they think has happened, what do they think is important, and what would they do in that situation.
Mm-hmm. It's really, I guess, taking back our culture in some ways too, hey?
Always.
I guess, what are you most excited to see, the actors bring to life from this play?
Well, writing a play is a pretty solitary existence. It's me in a room with my computer and 2 stuffed animals. That's my universe when I'm writing. And when I'm coming out in this particular situation, we have a director, we have a set designer, we have a costume designer, we have the performers. all coming in with their take on what I have written, and that's always exciting. I'm curious to see what they've done with with my concept, my imagination, where they've taken it, and how it has affected them and appealed to them. So that's the fun of theater, because it starts off as an individual effort, but then it becomes a community effort.
And then people kind of play on those words and make it more than you imagine, I guess, in that way.
Frequently, there'll be a line in there that is either funny, that I didn't know was funny, or has a sense of tragedy or of emotion that I had not expected. So yeah, it's always interesting to see what each person brings to the role. And then, of course, with other productions down the road, you sit there and you look at how other people are stirring the pot.
And then I guess, is there any sneak peeks as to what's next for you, Mr. Hayden Taylor?
Yes, actually a lot is happening. My 37th book, a play, will be coming out in July. It's the play that just opened a couple weeks ago called On Thin Ice. And then in October, my new novel is coming out. I think that's my 37th or 38th book, called Sucker Falls. And I'm also hopefully working on my last novel. Cold has been optioned for a television series, so we're waiting to see about that. And I'm hoping to be doing a documentary on Indigenous humor.
Nice. Sounds very exciting, and I need to get some tips from you, because sometimes I struggle with my writing and my stories. Just thank you for your time today.
My pleasure.